So should the Yankees let some of the kids play more? Should they let some of the guys they brought in on minor league contracts play more? You know, kids like Manny Banuelos, who's up with them now, right? Clark Schmidt, who's also up with them, or Ender Inciarte in the outfield. I mean, we know Estevan Florial's gotten a shot so far, and Gil Andujar is a better bat, or possesses a better bat than Florial. So I get why they're keeping Florial down and letting him continue to refine, because he's very productive at AAA level, but he hasn't yet offensively taken a step to go from AAA to the major leagues, right? I get it. Andujar has. His bat is at major league quality. Plus, he's actually showing to be a capable defender now, which is kind of refreshing. And on the flip side, I mean, Ender Inciarte is just toiling down in AAA, continually producing. And he also has, he's playoff tested at the major league level. He's a good defender, and he has the ability to contribute, I think, at the major league level, particularly since the Yankees are not getting any production from Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo. And that's, it's getting to the point now where it's costing them games. And with the Yankees having a 4.5 game lead over the Tampa Bay Rays, it's important to maybe consider utilizing some of these guys. And I understand, the way I see it is that they want to continue playing Gallo and Hicks so that then maybe they can get some or increase their trade value, right? Because they don't really have any right now. I see Gallo being a change of scenery guy who's on a walk here, who could be, an easy trade target by the deadline or before the deadline. So I could see him being moved a heck of a lot more than Hicks, who still has 3 years or 4 years actually left on his contract at $10 million per. So that's a tougher one to move. And I don't see the Yankees DFAing him, right, and having somebody else pick him up, whether it be on waivers or whatnot. I see any team that would take a chance on him would be waiting for the Yankees to release him, in which case the Yankees would eat his entire contract. So I don't see that happening. I'm not anytime soon at the very least. And I don't see the Yankees DFAing him and somebody or putting him on waivers and somebody picking him up. This is not a Justin Verlander situation or something like that when the Astros cleaned him off the waivers and assumed his entire contract. He doesn't have that type of trade value. So, but at the same time, the Yankees, I think, have some players right now that can, credibly fill in for either one of these guys. And we got to get, it's important to get to the point where we don't have so many automatic outs in the lineup, because we've got at least 2 right now with those 2 guys. And in some cases, the catchers offensively, but they make up for it more than enough on the defensive side. And that to me is a fair trade. So, but those 2 guys seem to be, guys that, it'd be worth sitting them for a little bit and let somebody else come in and hopefully contribute and get the Yankees back on track, because I do think it puts a damper on some offensive momentum that the Yankees have. Now, on the pitching side, the similar thing. The Yankees are getting beat up with the bullpen a little bit. Bullpen's either tired or hurt. Obviously, we have some guys. And even though, thank the heavens, this last round of starting pitchers, they all average 7 innings, which is phenomenal. And we don't expect that to happen every single time. And why not use guys like Manny Banuelos more or Clark Schmidt more? They're up there. Clark Schmidt's shown to be, one of the top 3 pitchers on the relief side now for the Yankees. So it might be good to rotate these guys, to have a Manny Banuelos step in, for a starter instead of a Michael King. We don't want to overuse Michael King. We don't want to overuse Clay Holmes. So why not use those guys more often? And I understand, the Yankees need to be confident in them, and Boone needs to be confident in their ability to do this. But there's a reason they're up here, okay? Might as well use them. And again, rather than using guys like Licky, where some guy like this might be a better fit, or using 3 or 4 relievers where you can have Clark Schmidt in there for 2 or 3 innings, or Banuelos in there for 2 or 3 innings, and Wellos. So it's those type of situations where, to me, it makes sense for the Yankees to use more guys. Use the guys that they have up there rather than just sticking to a small group. Joe Torre used to do that a lot, and sometimes it worked in his favor, and sometimes it did not. So, and even though he had a crazy deep bullpen, at no point were they as dominant as some of our more dominant guys are now. So, but our bullpen, to me, is across the board isn't as deep and reliable as that one was. So, which is why I would use those guys a little bit more often. So, what's your take? To me, using Manny Banuelos and Clark Schmidt a little bit more, rotating them into that rotation, okay, the bullpen rotation, and and giving Inciarte a chance. And obviously Miguel Andujar a little bit more of an opportunity, and maybe Estevan Florian sit. Don't hesitate to sit Gallo and Hicks if they're not producing. Sit them for a couple of days. Let them get the head straight. I mean, let them work on timing. Don't hesitate to send them down to work on some things too. So there's no reason they can't be. So it's stuff like that I think the Yankees are in a position right now where they have some guys that they brought in on minor league contracts. Shelby Miller. I don't really know what he's doing. I haven't been able to find anything, but other guys that have been, David McKay, and they call up JP Sears the other day. Why not use him a little bit more? So they have guys that have shown to be capable of performing at the major league level. So we might as well take advantage and use these guys if they're on the 40-man roster, and they keep rotating them in and out of this rotation and bullpen and stuff like that. So why not do it? So, I mean, I wanted to kind of make that the subject today is, let the kids play. Let the minor league signings play a little bit more, because, again, as frustrating as it is to watch Hicks and Gallo perform as poorly as they are, and I wish they would perform better, it's just it's also frustrating to see the Yankees do nothing about it. And that, to me, is, I think, avoidable. I mean, obviously, until if they make some kind of trade deadline move for an Andrew Benintendi or Brian Reynolds or Ben Gamble, something like that, right? Or if they bring in a Frankie Montez or a Luis Castillo or something like that for the rotation, or some bullpen reinforcements as well, they might as well use some of these guys and take some of the pressure off the bullpen. All right. It would also help take some of the pressure off the rotation. The same thing, give them an opportunity to sit some of these guys who are just stinking the place up. And we still have guys out. I mean, Donaldson's out, Stanton's out. So our offense is horrifically imbalanced right now. And they have two significant holes, and then two other guys creating two more holes. So essentially they have 4 holes in a 9-man lineup right now. That is a tough thing to overcome against teams like Tampa and now the Angels and some other teams as well. So, being proactive here, I think, would be a good idea if I was the Yankees. So let's get into this. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet either. If you like baseball stuff like this, recaps, lineups and breaking news of all kinds, you're going to get it here. So, and I'm going to continue talking about stuff like this. And I just put out some other stuff, my early trade deadline predictions and some other things too. So those are all in the description down below. So you'll take a look at them. But I wanted to keep the focus on that today, because it is a bane of a lot of people's frustration right now, why they continue playing these guys if they're not doing anything when they have other guys that can step in and potentially be a little bit more productive. It's more productive than nothing is not that hard. It's not that hard. So, and again, that's why they're here. So let's get into this. Let's talk about it. Talk to you next time.